Playground!
Hooray!
Hey! It's my song! Let's sing it! It's gonna be fucking awesome! Come on! It's gonna be fucking awesome! You know the words! It's gonna be fucking awesome! That's it! Sing! It's gonna be fucking awesome! Yeah!
Hey, Coolest Geeks. It's me, Jesse Blaze Snider, the Coolest Geek Alive. How are you doing? I am doing awesome. I'm getting so fucking excited. We made this really funny commercial for our Fucking for Our Future comic book with a jingle that my band Dilf USA made called Big Titties. It's really fucking funny. It's up on the Blacklight District Studios YouTube or whatever if you want to check it out. And I looked into our ratings numbers and stuff because we had kind of like we were getting close to 500,000 downloads a month, and then we had to switch ad agencies and a couple different things, and for a second our listenership had kind of dipped a little bit, and I was really happy to see that between my music show and Coolest Geek Alive, we had 1,100,000 and some whatever, well over 1 million downloads last month between the two shows, and this one was like 600 and something thousand or something like that. And fuck yeah, thank you so much for listening to the show. We so appreciate it. We've had a couple new ad people come to us, and that's great, getting ads and stuff and being able to do this show and not just have it be like a little bit of a hobby. But it's awesome. It's coming together. Thank you so much for listening. I'm really excited to talk today about what women really want, what women actually want. And I just want to talk about myself, I guess, a little bit as a man, which honestly, I've never really seen myself as a man. I never realized how deep the divide was between men and women, and I mean, I don't even think it is as deep as whatever, but just in my world, the men and women always respected each other, and there wasn't any obvious deficiency between the sexes. My mom is was raised rather feminist. My the girls were pushed really hard, and the boys weren't exactly pushed hard at all. It was a very interesting way my mom had grown up, which she's going to be putting out a book eventually. Worth reading. My mom's life story is very, very interesting. But raised by a very powerful woman who was very feminist. I don't know. I just had respect for women, let's just say, and that's it. And I didn't think anything else. Secondly, and I don't like talking about this because I don't know. I guess I'm a closeted LGBTQ member. I liked that. I like that. I don't feel like my bedroom activities or my interests sexually are other people's business. And I also don't feel as though I need anybody's fucking validation in society to have whatever fucking feelings or desires I want to have. So this whole thing of what I would call very weak members of the LGBTQ community parading around social media going accept us, goddammit. I don't know, for those of you who are out there who are on the spectrum, if you will, and I'll talk about mine more directly in a second, but I don't know. I know so many gay people, trans people, whatever else, and they're all fucking cool and like me. And I feel like these people on the internet are just whiny bitches. like, what the fuck are you? What are you doing? Why are you like forcing people to? My ex-wife, Patty, and this is no disrespect to her, but like, I remember her pushing for some names that like she didn't like the name Steel, just Steel, which I was open to. She only liked Steel spelt with an E at the end. And I just said to her one day, I was just like, look, I don't want our kids to have to go around throughout their life and be like, no, not Steel. It's Steel with an E at the end. Like I didn't want them to have weirdly spelt names that they would have to correct people for all time and like set them up to be in like a loop of rudeness. Which is what is going on right now with this like really hard line press for the LGBT. It's like, I think most reasonable people, like, we just wanted acceptance, man. Like, people didn't want like to be getting people beat up in the streets and stuff. And I'm not in that lane. I mean, it was interesting because I just always considered myself different. I'll say that. I mean, I've gotten along better with women traditionally in general, and I'm a kind of feminine guy who's had to kind of master masculinity because my nature is softer. I'm a Care Bear. But at the same time, I saw that like they were expecting me to die in wars and shit. Like they're expecting, like I'm supposed to go down with the ship and shit. Like as a man, like, like that's the thing that you definitely feel like, fuck, I need to prepare my mind and my heart in case something ever went wrong. I remember having like terrible nightmares and stuff about that, like about having to do the right thing and be a man. There's definitely, I understand, what women go through. I've kind of went through similar things with my mom, who's she's a stylist and makeup artist and whatnot. So I'm a Virgo, and I'm very hypercritical about my work, about myself, about how I present myself, like so many different things. And my mom made me very, very hypercritical about how I present myself. So I understand a lot of the ladies' journey. I've always been sort of like a champion of wear less makeup and like, try to feel pretty, to be you, that kind of thing. Cause like I've always needed to do that. And my more feminine nature definitely like, made it that much more. Well, for me, like feeling like I needed to be a boy, even though on a lot of levels I'm very much like a boy, but I'm just a more feminine guy. But I like girls. I've always liked girls. At the same time, when people ask me, because people think I'm gay all the time. I've had best friends think I'm gay. So many people think I'm gay. Like occasionally, like when I've met somebody that I really like and I want to be their friend, I've like just come on too strong for them, and they thought like I was gay, and I was like, no, I just like you. Like, let's hang out. You're cool. But that's me. That's my nature. Like, I mean, I know my people. I know people that I like. I know what I'm interested in. And when I do, I'm usually very like passionate, and I go straight to that thing. I'm kind of bubbly and sweet natured. But of course I can be a bitch though. I can be a total dick. Like my parents are very strong. I've learned to be very strong, and I've mastered the masculine thing. Like when you see me walking around, usually you see me, I'm very masculine. If you've hung out with me enough on the podcast, you know that like, oh, Jesse's a big baby. I'm a big stuffed animal. I am. If I have to step up to the plate and be a tough guy, I will. But that's not my preference. So as I had suspected, of course, that non-binary is the term that they like to use for people like me, which is just essentially, I never felt like a man. didn't feel like a man. The manly things didn't necessarily appeal to me. I'm like, I almost was, I don't know, not attracted to the men, like the manly man, but like always wanted to be a manly man. I like He-Man and Superman, and like I like The Rock, I like Henry Cavill. Oh yes, like I'm like, if I was a lady, I'd be like one of them. But I'm not interested in them, and it's a funny thing to say, but I know I kind of, I don't know, it's strange, and now I kind of know it's connected to past lives, which is something that you guys may not believe in, but I mean I've had some pretty vivid experiences remembering being, like I have a mohawk in this life, and I realize it's because in a recent life or whatever, I was a Native American lady, and all the boys who I was attracted to were these really masculine men with mohawks. So I was like, mohawk, that's a great haircut, but years later I found like sort of like a story behind where that came from. And this is like a big part of this, the LGBTQ spectrum, all these things. I talk about this because like I understand this a lot, because I've had to investigate myself, because I am a different, was always a different sort of person. Like I said, like I'm a straight guy, but there are very specific women who I go after. And like I like women who present feminine, or can present feminine, but who are very tough, who are very strong at their foundations. And all of the women who I've ever been with are very strong, but a little feminine, balanced. This is the thing. I mean, they teach this in like Kabbalah and universal laws. Now I'm doing a podcast every every Friday called Everything They Don't Want You to Know. Basically it's all the stuff that the Freemasons would teach you. And this is part of that. One of the universal laws is the law of gender. The law of gender basically just teaches you that there's two energies that exist in the universe, the masculine and the feminine. And it's, these two polarized energies that exist in all things. And while a thing may be more, feminine and masculine or whatever, the two energies are, in various degrees. You could be 99% masculine energy and 1% feminine energy. I think myself, I'm probably more like, I don't know. When it comes to men, I think there's like maybe like like we can only be like 50% feminine or whatever, or maybe we could start out more. I don't know. I guess I guess that's true, because gay people, whatever. Like I'm thinking about it out loud as I'm talking about it, but essentially there's like this spectrum, this mix that we can have. It can be 99%, 1%, or it can go the opposite way, or it can be 50-50. At this stage of the game, myself and like, my partners, are always pretty close to like a balanced bit. But probably my feminine energy is probably a little stronger, and probably my girlfriend's masculine energy can be a little stronger. And the energy of the women we have that we're putting into office and we have in politics, for the most part, 99% of them, they are dominantly masculine energied people. So it's when we say that we want to be down with the patriarchy, and we need a matriarchy, that suggests that we need feminine energy. So we don't want women who are balanced in a masculine way, or I should say imbalanced in a masculine way. We want women who are imbalanced in a feminine way, or balanced women and men who are balanced in a, or imbalanced in a feminine way. Like myself, I I know if you put me in charge of everything on planet Earth tomorrow, everything would be okay. I don't want anything bad to happen to anybody, and I want everybody to get what they want. We can cooperate. We can figure things out. It's all bullshit where they say, we can't figure. No, only because they're being greedy and they're being awful and they're fucking it all up. But like where there's a will, there's a way. Things can be nice tomorrow if we have the right people in place. balanced people with long beards who'd lived long enough to know some things. It's like I've suffered from chronic pain, for really kind of most of my life, but 12 years of really pronounced chronic pain. Pretty quickly, I decided that I didn't want anybody to be in pain ever again. Like, I don't want to be in pain ever again. I don't want anybody else to be in pain ever again. When I hear that people are in pain, I'm literally about to cry. It makes me want to cry. That's what experience does. Teaches you. Balances you. We need balanced politicians. This whole, get that woman into office, get Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton is one of the most masculine women the world has ever seen. I mean, seriously. God, I don't want to start any sort of bullshit, but just if you really are pro Hillary, please go vividly investigate her for just a few minutes. Just a few minutes. Dig a little bit into her. I trust me, you will go, why has the Democratic Party not distanced themselves from this person? And then you'll understand that because it's all fucking rigged, and it's rigged on both sides. It's all fucking rigged. Forgive me. But the way we're being manipulated right now with this men and women thing, and like it's all so backwards and so silly. And yes, we do need a matronly approach to things. We do need the feminine energy to increase. But we don't get there by just putting women in pantsuits into the office, if you get what I mean. So, listen to Everything They Don't Want You to Know. There's a few episodes up. I haven't gotten to gender yet or whatever, but I'll get into these things in more detail if you're interested in, more of it. And, and I am certainly a fucking reasonable candidate to talk about this shit, as I have my nail polish coming off of my things, and I've been dying to start wearing lipstick. I've been embracing my freak side because I was always hiding it. I just wanted to be able to kind of go between worlds or something like that. And like people like scare me. I like individuals, but like as a group, I tend to prefer getting people one-on-one. I feel like I always have wonderful interactions with people one-on-one, but as a group, sometimes it's like, I don't know. This is something that you guys understand out there. But, yeah, I've always been a little shy of, like, who I am. But, who I am is... When people ask me if I'm gay, I say, well, I mean, who knows what tomorrow will bring. But not right now. And, and really, I mean, like, never. In this life, I'm like, I just have no interest. But do I feel like a man? Have I ever felt like, no? And am I looking very specifically for a specific kind of women, like a specific energy? Yes. And that's been very unconscious. I've come to understand that later in my life. But, everybody, like this whole spectrum of fucking people on this LGBT, it's also stupid. Like, you know what your personal pronouns are? Your fucking name. My personal pronoun is Jesse. The idea of they, them is a great idea. Yeah. Make it all they, them. That's a good idea. Make it all individualized with, oh my God. What do you fucking... How do you have such a great idea mixed with such a terrible idea? They, them is a great idea. Sure. That's fine. Yeah, like we could try to phase out that word. Don't get pissed off at people who still use them, But like you can start doing that, and like try to get it to catch on. That's a good thing. That's how we do it. Like in culture, you start using something, you make it cool, other people start to use it. Not you force people to do it. It's like, oh my God, fuck, ugh. The they them thing's great. The zip zow, fucking all the stupid. There's just so many, and they're so stupid. All the different ways that they're breaking it up, it's all so stupid. I love everybody. I love and you can everybody can do whatever they want. And they should be able to do whatever they want. And like and if there's rights that they're being denied that other people are being given, they should be given those rights. And absolutely. But what is going on right now with all of this like multiple pronouns? It's actually like really rude and just sort of pushy and like I promise, like there are actually poll numbers and stuff that are now saying that it's done harm to different businesses aren't doing anything for Gay Pride Month, and like like the support of the community has gone down, which is like not what we fucking want at all. And people have been saying this too in the community, and they've been like shouted down of like, yo, seriously, like we keep this up and people aren't gonna be cool. They're gonna be like, yo, these people are pushy as fuck. Let's do something about it. So all those things are to say that as a non-man, and I really am. I don't think of myself as a man. I never did. Even though I do man things and the mans hang out with me, but I like some of my best friends are girls. And I'm really like, I don't have a bad, a negative relationship with any of the people I've ever gone out with. I really like, I don't identify as a man. That's what I'm going to say. Okay. So I'm telling you as a non-man what women really want. And I'm actually going to back it up with fucking data. Some really wonderful, simple, obvious data that will spell this all out. What most women want is a strong man. Women who go to watch masculine cinema are looking for masculinity done well, artistically, with great characters and deep stories and meaningful things. There's always been a notion that, in order for the women to be able to enjoy it, there needs to be a love story. And they've always done that. And that kind of pisses me off because it limits certain stories that can be told that I think are super valuable. But they may be right about that or whatever. But that overcorrection beyond that, they've made a shitload of overcorrection beyond that, because there's this feeling that women want this masculine material, these boy brands, to cater more to them. But the numbers do not lie. And there are plenty of other ones that I could pull up from other franchises and stuff to really kind of take a look at how the audience has reacted at different times. But in a very classic sense, we're just going to look at the audience numbers for men and women for the MCU in their last, kind of successful phase, and then all of the sequels that happened after Avengers Endgame. As a case in point, we can start with Ant-Man. Ant-Man and the Wasp had a 55% male, 45% female audience ratio. This is pretty amazing. The previous movie, Ant-Man, had a 58% male, 42% female. So they had gained some extra audience. Just a little bit. But like, as the MCU was going on, and also I think as this franchise went on, I think, people who saw Ant-Man at home went, oh, that was really great. And more women showed up to see it. And strength of the MCU, whatever. When they released Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which we know was a big loser for them, the audience became 63% male and 37% female. So we've got Michelle Pfeiffer and a recasted Cassie Lang, and this fucking emasculation of the bad guy from the first Ant-Man movie. This weird ass fucking movie. The Quantumania really sucked. I love the Ant-Man franchise. That movie blew, and a significant aim. Okay, the audience shrank significantly, right? We know that. If it shrank in an equal number to male and female, then this number would be the same. But no, it's 63% male now and 37% female. So they feminized the brand and less females showed up. Let's look at the Thor series, Thor Ragnarok. We got 56% male, 44% female. Great numbers. That's pretty freaking balanced. That's a lot of women showing up to your movie. What happens with Thor Love and Thunder as Jane Foster becomes Thor and we get the lesbian Valkyrie? We got 62% male, 38% female. Almost identical to the Ant-Man numbers. More women have walked away. They've catered to the female audience, and they've had the reverse result. Doctor Strange series, Doctor Strange first movie, 59% male, 41% female. A little bit more skewed male. Now Doctor Strange is 62% male and 38% female. So they were already skewing a little bit more male with the previous movie. They've tried to feminize this one. They lost more females. This one was a little bit more successful for them. Not as successful as the first Doctor Strange. You know, Thor Love and Thunder was fucking... Ugh. The Black Panther series. Wakanda Forever was a reasonable success for them. And there's not much difference here. It's 55% male, 45% female versus 56% male and 44% female. But again, it is a significant amount of money less that they made. And that's a significant amount of less females who showed up to the movie. Finally, we can go over, well, not finally, because I got one more. The bombshell report is really the one. But Guardians of the Galaxy series as well was 56% male, 44% female for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, but rose to 60% male and 40% female for Volume 3, and did not ultimately do as well. Finally, you want to talk about trying to bring in the female audience. There's Captain Marvel and the Marvels. Well, get this fucking craziness. Captain Marvel had a 61% male audience and a 39% female audience. Like, that blew me away. It's the highest of these ones that I mentioned. Ant-Man's audience wasn't that fucking female. Or at least of like the earlier ones. Like, males propped up this movie way more than females did. And guess what? The Marvels, starring 3 females. 68% male, 32% female. 68% male. Tell me again how the audience is sexist? Like, the women are sexist. Or at least the women are more sexist. And I tell you all the things about my sexuality, like, that I don't like to fucking talk about. But to really tell you that when I watch a movie, whenever I watch a movie, pretty much never am I like, there I am. That's me right there on screen. This is my love story. I understand this completely. This is exactly my life. I've never been represented on screen in my entire fucking life. I'm a unique snowflake, man. And, it's probably never going to happen until somebody makes a fucking biopic about me or some bullshit. If I'm not trying to say that I deserve. I'm just saying, like, in order to do it, you would have to like make a movie about me specifically. Like, I don't really see that there's so much similarity to myself and general characters that I see in regular literature or anything like that, and also the journeys that they go on, because I'm kind of a weirdo. Not kind of, I'm a weirdo. And you know, I do a lot of different things. I've done a lot of different things, and I've had a lot of different experiences, and you know, good and bad. And you know, because of that, and because like most people fail to go, "That's me." Like, you know, like idiots do that, you know, or like people who are really intuitive in a positive way, who like something and go, I like to think of myself as that person. You know, there's positive ways to go about it. But like, you know, some people are just like, you know, simple. But most people are fucking complex. And there's no, you know, there I am on the big screen. You know, it doesn't matter if it's Sigourney Weaver fucking kicking ass in Aliens, or if it's fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger kicking ass in Predator. You know, like, if I'm into the subject matter of the thing, I'm down. You know, and if the characters are cool and written good, like, I'm down. And so is the audience. And like this, like, people have such short memories. Like, go back, look at fucking history. It's been a long ass time since Princess Leia was a badass bitch and we liked it. You know? I mean, like, theoretically speaking, like the only movie that I should like when it comes to, you know, the opposite sex should be like fucking Red Sonja, made over and over and over again. I just want to see these badass women doing things. And I find that my sexuality doesn't really fucking enter into my enjoyment of fiction. And like, I don't know if yours does. I always kind of find that kind of weird. Like, you know, I talked about my book, Fucking for Our Future, which, like, it sounds like it's like, well, Jesse, you're doing a sex. But my book is very weird and funny in how non-sexual it actually is. It's kind of like more like, it's very science fiction. And it's just kind of using sex and using nudity to sell the book. But the story is very funny and kind of asexual in a way, because they're fucking for our future. They're trying to get the sperm samples that they need to propagate their society, because their cloning machines are broken. So it's like it's like aliens coming down to abduct people and, you know, put them back when they don't remember anything. We don't worry, we got your blood and everything. You know, it's like animals. They're going to the animals to try to get the thing they need. So it's very, very funny and weird the way it's actually presented. And honestly, like, I remember a girlfriend like hitting me in a movie or something like that, because there was like some like attractive girl on screen and something like that, and she like hit me in the arm, and I was like, ow, what the fuck was that for? And she's like, you were totally fantasizing about that girl. And I was like, what girl? Like, and she was like, the one in the movie. And I was like, what? I was just watching a fucking movie. like, and it was really true. I just like, I don't know what the fuck where she was going. I was just literally watching a movie, going like, this is a movie, and I got hit. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening right now? Some bullshit. That's what I'm saying. I don't know why I brought that up. This sexism thing and this narrative, you know, it's just cover for their mistakes and their flops, and basically for their DEI. And their DEI is absolutely a cultural terraforming that is going on by big money at the top of things. They did similar things in the Soviet Union before it fell. You can investigate that yourself, but it's the truth. There is a very strong arm DEI initiative and a real hard push for a whole bunch of certain things for a reason, but the audience in mass has rejected it. And the companies, it seems like they are not going to be doing anything differently. Disney does not seem to be changing anything. As I said in my more recent episode, the plan for BlackRock and these investment companies seems to be just like slow the bleeding. If you make less Marvel movies that piss people off and occasionally throw them a bone with like Deadpool or something good, then the audience will stay happy. And like, honestly, they can get away with that, unfortunately. And they can keep destroying all the things that we love along the way with just occasionally doing something close to the thing that we would like. I'm devastated about all of this stuff, especially because I feel like the geek culture audience, for the most part, of most of the geeks that I know, we're pretty humble and cool, chill, maybe meek people that don't necessarily stand up for themselves. I don't necessarily stand up for myself all the time, but I stand up for other people really easily. So I like being in the geek community because, like, when I see injustice, I have to rectify the situation. But there's just like so many wonderful guys, and if you go into exploration of like dating website analytics and like all the information for various sites that have come out, you find out that most men are leading kind of lonely lives without women or without a lot of relationships. And I feel like the geek culture community is a large part of that demographic. And to be called sexists and phobes, all this shit, like, it's like, fuck you guys. We worship Captain America and fucking, Superman and superheroes. Like, at the end of the day, we're cathartically looking at some violent, admittedly, solutions to how things are right now. We're people with an optimistic attitude, and science fiction is riddled with just thing after thing after thing. I mean, like, geek culture is happy to deify a lady, and and now we've got to this point of like this making women less attractive because of the male gaze. Like, yo, dude, women like attractive women. Just as I'm a man who like I'm like, oh yeah, that's something to look up to. Like, I want to be like Superman. Right now I'm finally in the gym the way I've been wanting to. Like, my whole life I've been injured for a long time, and I'm still a little bit injured, but been at it. I did a cool Mike Metzler, Mike Metzler. I did a geek bodybuilding episode. It's like episode 99. It was a couple months ago maybe. But I'm having amazing results with it, and it's really like a thinking man's workout program for building muscle, and I'm like really like doing the thing I always wanted to do. So I highly recommend you go back and check that out. But women like that. Women want beautiful depictions of women. It's like it's funny. If you believe, like I believe, in sort of the mental universe that we're living in, when you have some beautiful thing to aspire to, it helps you be that much more beautiful, and it helps you to sort of have a framework of an energy of beauty and happiness that you like. Can these things be damaging or detrimental to your mental health if you think about them too much? And so, oh, absolutely. And I'm definitely somebody who's like guilty of, not necessarily comparing myself to other people, but just really constantly sort of evaluating myself or like getting in my head, because my mom, she was just kind of always looking at me, and I could like feel her looking at me, the energy, and I don't like to feel like there's anything wrong. So, you try to compensate, like, oh, I'll do something so that like I don't feel like that anymore, and I know that I'm always looking good. But like, I never got to a place where I always felt like I was looking good. I always was like, oh fuck, what now? Is it a booger of an eyelash? Like, what's wrong with me now, Mom? And like, my mom didn't mean to do this, but it's just what happens sometimes. And lots of ladies go through similar kind of things, and it's real. But that doesn't mean that we're supposed to fucking change the whole freaking thing. Like even though even though it might frustrate you sometimes to see somebody that's making you feel jealous or something like that, it's like, do we want the world to be less beautiful? I don't. I'd rather the world of fantasy be generally beautiful, filled with beautiful people. And I mean, it doesn't have to be like they're all models and stuff, but like that it's just not a world of like, look at this blemish here and that blemish here, but like, look at this wonderful happy face and this happy face and this happy face. I feel like we're really like breaking things apart in ways that are gonna destroy them. I mean, like right now it's happening with Star Wars. I mean, Star Wars was already dead, as we spoke about. It really is dead and gone. I mean, all the original fans have long since abandoned it, and all that's left are the people who are like giving it a shot because of like right now, and the Acolyte, which is like lesbians in space. And I don't have any fucking problems with lesbians, man, but like this shit's crazy. It's just so pronounced. The change that they're like attempting to make, then mixed with like other, it's not even like they're like honoring the source material, but they've really brought in a diverse cast that's sort of like pointedly different than what we're traditionally used to. It's like how they're doing it. And again, like I don't really see the, I don't see the colors and I don't see the way. I do now. Because it's like I see what everybody's seeing because it bothers them. So often I go see a lot of these movies that are like people are bothered by it, and I'm like, it really didn't bother me. But at the same time, it's about patterns. It's about creating patterns in the material that people can recognize so that everything kind of becomes a joke. So that even when something's done right, like in, say, Furiosa, which I just saw, which was great. Furiosa, is pretty much is like, girl badass done right. And that part of it, like it doesn't matter anymore because the audience is just taking things at a glance and they recognize a pattern. So they are all tuned out. And I mean, that's really what is Hollywood's destiny right now. I mean, it's just like the moment they show a little bit of skin in that direction, they're going to keep having these things, fall out from under them. The Sweet Baby Incorporated Detector, if you don't know about that, it's a company that was like basically doing advising on women and minorities, basically going through various games with a fine-tooth comb, trying to get rid of anything that might be deemed offensive. Holy shit, guys. Like, this is the death of art. You don't want this happening in any creative field of like there's a fucking Gestapo going around telling you what you can and cannot do. Like, culture needs to be culture. We can have the time where it no longer becomes in vogue to be particularly sexist or be particularly homophobic. But what we have now is like this overcorrection where essentially that whole group, the feminist group and the gay rights organizer, like they're coming to look like assholes, just like pushy dicks. And I mean, and really, for myself as a real punk rock, as somebody who I become spiritual, but I was, what's it called? I was an atheist for a long time. And why am I telling you that? Because in school, when I was growing up, I occasionally had run-ins with really religious people who, for one reason or another, would tell me that I was going to hell. And I was mortified and very upset by that because I'm a very nice person and I don't see any reason why I should go to hell. And I really believe like the ultimate tenet of all things is just do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And that, you let God judge everything. It's like not your place. So I didn't feel very I hated those people. I was so upset, like, to be sort of snap judged and boiled down to one simple belief or two simple beliefs, something that I said that went against their thing or whatever, or if I said I hadn't been saved by Christ or whatever it was. And right now, all the people who I was standing up for, essentially, yeah. All the people that I was standing up for as a kid, because I'm 41. So when I was younger, like, there was a need to sort of bring a lot of attention to this shit. But then somewhere along the way, the need went away. It became popular to just be like, oh, I'm an advocate for this. And I'm like, and as soon as that happened, I got very quiet on that end because I wasn't doing it for those reasons. And I didn't want to be mistaken as such. I meant it. And there are plenty of people doing it now, and they don't really need me. So, I kind of moved on to a more central position of like, all right, well, don't go so crazy. We need to like come together and fix the world, not have a civil war, which is what a lot of crazy people are advocating for now. And I just do not understand. How about everybody in the audience? Let's all do a big Care Bear stare out to all these crazy fucking people to get them to friggin' calm down. Calm down. Like, let's like figure shit out, man. It's like so lame. Yeah. I don't know how to like necessarily wrap this up. I feel like I have like more to say, but it's just like, it really just is so true of just, I don't identify with any fucking person that I've ever seen on screen except in like a way or two, I don't identify with the dude from that, is it the Heartbreak Ridge movie that Mel Gibson directed with Andrew Garfield, who's like the conscientious objector? I forget what the movie's called. But he's like a conscientious objector for the war, and he's going into to battle without a gun, and he's saving all these people. It's based on a true story. And like, I don't fucking identify with that guy in, like in a lot of ways, I don't. But in a couple really fundamental ways, I do. And oh God, that movie means so much to me. When I see Braveheart, I don't fucking identify with William Wallace, but in a couple ways I do. In a couple ways I do really deeply. And that's all it takes. When I saw Terminator 2 as like a father, a couple ways I did connect with Sarah Connor, as a mother that I didn't as a kid. There are ways in which like my connection to Terminator 2 as a child was more through Edward Furlong's character, John Connor. But you grow, and it's just but anybody can be your path into a movie. Like, they can be gay, and they can be like it doesn't fucking matter. Like, it's just what movie I fucking love? Have you ever seen In and Out? It's a great one with Kevin Kline. It's very funny. It's about this teacher who's not gay, and then like he gets outed by his former acting student, and it's like a crazy uproar in this small town that he comes from that like he's gay when he's not gay. And like, I don't want to spoil anything in the movie, but like, go check it out. It's very fucking funny. Tom Selleck's in it, playing this gay reporter. It's lovely. It's a fucking great movie. It really, like, I think all of this stuff that we hear about how pointedly the audience is this or that or the other thing is just nonsense. It's just nonsense and bullshit. And like, if you're repeating it anymore, you're an idiot. Because look at these fucking numbers. We got an average of 60% male and 30-something% female in the audiences for all these Marvel movies, just in a span of, 6 years or whatever, of them MCUing it. As they've switched up, they've lost the women. What the fuck does that say to you, idiots? You've lost the women. How do you not look at these numbers and go, oh, fuck? Our whole strategy is fundamentally wrong. I mean, Well, I know because you're just pushing ahead with the fucking stupid strategy that you have. So, like, I know people at home going, well, Jesse, it's not about that. Yeah, it's not about that. But you would think that at least they would change their tune. They would change what they were saying about all this fucking bullshit. The women aren't going, even more than the men. I mean, you guys have failed spectacularly. I wish I could see the damn fucking viewership on these damn Disney Plus shows, these really low-rated ones. I bet that fucking She-Hulk show was largely watched by men who were like, why am I watching this? This is like such a slap in my dick. I don't understand what I'm doing here. I mean, seriously, it's just like that fucking opening in She-Hulk where she's like lambasting the Hulk. A guy who's recently saved the world. I mean, just like it's so tone deaf. We're misunderstanding. There are women who are like me. Who are very masculine. No, sorry. Yeah, who are very masculine and look for men who are very feminine. And there are, women who look for women like that, or men who look for men like there are all different fucking varieties of us people, but we don't need every fucking character. I don't need Doctor Who to be non-binary like me for me to like it. I like Doctor Who as they were. I was learning specific things from Doctor Who because of what they were foundationally. And this is the big thing that I think everybody's missing. When there's an audience, and I mean, I guess nobody's missing it. It's just being fucking forced by this freaking money at the top. Ultimately, that's it. It's like, I feel like I should just pack up the show. Because it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, it's not like there's anybody that needs to be schooled in anything other than the people who are defending it. They need to be fucking schooled. Like, no, man, this is like fucking nonsense. And if you want to pick it apart in this way or that way or whatever, it's just, it never calculates up to the right answer, what they are doing. We are getting a certain wonderful, powerful something from Doctor Who. We're not getting that anymore. And it was transformed in some weird ways before it got to the thing that it is now, as so many of these things often are. But it gets transformed. It's allowed to be transformed in ways that confuse the foundations to such a degree that the people who originally loved the thing leave. And then the whole reason why you bought the property in the first place, why you think that the property is worthwhile in the first place, which is it has a built-in audience, and that audience can keep growing and building, you start to lose huge segments of the audience for no good reason. It's just, it's fucking insanity. It really is. It's insane. Anyway, I think that I've made my point. What women want, they want fucking men. And like the women don't want it's like, imagine like throwing Rambo into the Notebook or something. It's like, women are looking for what they're looking for in their entertainment. Really great versions of that entertainment. Men love too. I love the Notebook. Doesn't need fucking Rambo in it. That would be shitty. That would like blow up the whole situation. Same thing goes over here. And the women, they were flocking to these Marvel movies. Really pretty good balanced numbers, in the high 40s for women against men at these Marvel films. That's really great for man properties. What were you actually trying to get? Like, what were you going to get beyond that? I mean, granted, again, it's DEI. It's not a fucking thing. But like, think about this idea of like, we need to cater more to women so that we can close that gap from 4% to 0%. You like so it's 50-50. I don't understand. Like, really, 4%? Like, I just keep making good shit, and like maybe it'll just continue to perpetually bring in that audience. No, It's stupid. All right. I feel like I'm kicking a dead horse. But I will say, if you'll bear with me for 2 seconds, that if you're a music lover like myself, every Monday night, I've got a great show called All Your Favorite Bands Suck. I just did Stone Temple Pilots this week. There's such a eclectic mix of genres. Next week, I'm doing Green Day. Just tons of awesome bands and genres that I think are kind of underrepresented in general. There's a lot of humor bands and, rap artists and rock bands and metal bands. I think you'll really like it. The show, we are just under 500,000 downloads last month for the show. It's really starting to pick up now. There's like 26 episodes, I think, that have been made so far. So you can go in and find a number of bands that maybe you've wanted to get into. And basically that's the show. It's just me focusing on a band that I love and giving you this is where you start. This is where I started. They're a great band. Go check them out. So if you love music and you want to get into some great new bands, go check out All Your Favorite Bands Suck. Also, like I said, every Friday afternoon, I'm doing everything they don't want you to know. And then Sunday night, we have a new Coolest Geeks Alive stream with my best buddy, Aaron Sparrow. This last weekend, we kicked off a awesome interview series with him, going through his career, working in licensed comics for Boom Studios and Disney. We really definitely talked about a bunch of stuff that when people see it starts to get spread around. I think people are going to be like, what the fuck? I mean, just it's crazy working in licensed comics and stuff. It's awesome. Aaron's awesome, and I really just want to introduce him to the audience right now. So the next few weeks we're going to be doing that, and then eventually we're going to be bringing in a lot of good friends of ours to interview them, geek culture people who are awesome, and it'll be an interview show. But as of right now, it's only going to be available on the YouTube. So go over to the Blacklight District Studios YouTube channel and subscribe. And every Sunday night, I think we're doing it around 8 or 9, which makes 11 or 12 Pacific time. So that's awesome. And then, of course, Saturday I do a Coolest Pick. And every Wednesday we got another episode here. You can email me at jesseblaze@jessesnider.com. I love getting your emails. I really look forward to hearing from you. And thank you so much for listening to the show. You've been an amazing audience. I hope you join me this Saturday and next Wednesday for another fucking awesome episode of the Coolest Geek Alive. I love you all. Care Bear Stare.
Let's sing it. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Come on, it's gonna be fucking awesome. You know the words. It's gonna be fucking awesome. That's it. Sing. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Yeah. It's my favorite part. Isn't that heavy? I'll play that. Coolest alive.
You've been listening to Coolest Geek Alive with me, your host, Jesse Blaze Snider. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe for more excellent geek culture content. Thanks for listening.